November 2017. Sam's Reservoir, outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. A woman named Connie Draper is fishing a charity bass tournament with her 13-year-old son. They are in a borrowed aluminum flat-bottom boat with a trolling motor that sounds like it is chewing on gravel. Everyone else on the water has color sonar, side imaging, and forward-facing live scope. Connie has a spinning rod from Walmart and a bag of soft plastic crawfish she bought at a gas station on the drive over. By 10 in the morning, she has 0 fish. Her son has 0 fish. The leaderboard at the dock shows teams with 5 fish limits already weighed in. Connie is ready to call it. Her son reaches into the cooler where they packed lunch, pulls out a sandwich bag, and hands her something. A small plastic shaker of garlic powder. The same garlic powder she uses on spaghetti night every Tuesday. He tells her his buddy at school said his dad rubs it on his lures. Connie figures she has nothing to lose. She shakes a thin coat of garlic powder onto a watermelon red crawfish bait and drops it next to a brush pile she has already fished 3 times that morning. 90 seconds later, she is fighting a 3.5-pound largemouth. By 1 in the afternoon, Connie and her son weigh in 4 fish. They do not win, but they beat 11 teams that spent more on electronics that morning than Connie spent on groceries that month. The garlic powder cost 49 cents at Dollar General. And that is why I built this channel. Welcome to Dollar Hook. We pull apart the fishing science that has been sitting in your kitchen cabinet your entire life, while the tackle industry charged you $50 a bottle for a watered-down version of the same thing. Today, we are going deep on garlic, the 50-cent kitchen powder that triggers a documented biochemical response in nearly every freshwater game fish in America. I am going to walk you through exactly what happens at the molecular level when allicin hits water. I am going to show you which fish respond and which do not, and I am going to be honest about the limitations, because this channel does not sell you fantasies. We are going to cover the real regulatory landscape, and then I will hand you 3 deployment methods that cost less than a nickel per trip. Let us get into it. So what is garlic powder, and why does a 50-cent shaker from the spice aisle compete with a wall of synthetic attractants that cost $20 to $60 each? Garlic powder is dehydrated garlic cloves ground into a fine, granular powder. The plant is Allium sativum. It has been cultivated for over 5,000 years across Central Asia, the Mediterranean, and China. It has been used as medicine, as currency, as spiritual protection, and as one of the most ubiquitous cooking ingredients on the planet. But here is the part that matters for fishing. When you crush or grind a garlic clove, you trigger an enzymatic reaction. An enzyme called alliinase converts a stable compound called allicin into a highly reactive sulfur compound called allicin. Allicin is the molecule responsible for that sharp, pungent smell that hits you the moment you open the shaker. It is also one of the most potent, naturally occurring bioactive compounds ever documented. Garlic powder retains allicin precursors even after dehydration. When the powder contacts water, those precursors rehydrate, and the enzymatic conversion kicks back in, releasing allicin and a cascade of secondary sulfur compounds called diallyl sulfides directly into the surrounding water column. And what those sulfur compounds do to a fish's chemosensory system is something the tackle industry has understood for decades and deliberately kept off the packaging of every product they sell. Fish detect dissolved chemicals through 2 parallel systems. The olfactory system processes smell through receptor neurons in the nasal cavity, and the gustatory system processes taste through receptor cells distributed across the lips, the mouth, the gill rakers, and in catfish along the barbels and across the entire body surface. Most synthetic fishing scents target one system. Amino acid-based scents target olfaction. Salt-based additives target gustation. Garlic hits both, and that dual action gives it a broad advantage that synthetic bottles usually do not provide. Allicin is a thiosulfinate compound. When it dissolves in water, it produces a suite of organosulfur molecules including diallyl disulfide, diallyl trisulfide, and ajoine. These are small volatile molecules that disperse rapidly through diffusion, and they can maintain detectable concentrations over surprisingly large distances. Research has shown that BASE can detect garlic compounds at distances up to 25 feet in optimal conditions. At temperatures below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, when fish metabolism slows and they shift from visual hunting to chemosensory foraging, the detection range increases further because the fish is actively relying on its nose to find food rather than its eyes. That is why garlic is disproportionately effective in cold water and in stained water. The conditions where your fancy lure colors and lifelike swimming actions matter least are exactly the conditions where garlic matters most. The industry sells you $14 color patterns because color photographs well on packaging. They do not sell you garlic because it costs 50 cents, and you already own it. But there is a second mechanism at work that is arguably more important than the attraction itself, and it is the one that every guide who uses garlic keeps to themselves. Your hands are the enemy. Every time you handle a lure with your bare skin, you deposit L-serine onto its surface. L-serine is an amino acid that your epidermis secretes constantly as part of normal skin metabolism. To you, it is invisible and odorless. To a fish, it is a 5-alarm predator warning. L-serine is the chemical signature of a mammalian hand, and fish have been evolving to avoid that signal for millions of years. When a bass approaches your lure and detects L-serine on the surface, its threat response activates before the feeding response has a chance to engage. The fish turns away, and you never knew it was there. You blame the color, you blame the retrieve speed, you blame the weather. You never blame your hands because nobody told you your hands were the problem. Garlic solves this. The organosulfur compounds in garlic powder are chemically aggressive. When you rub garlic onto a lure surface, the sulfur molecules bond to the same sites where L-serine has deposited. They do not just mask the human scent, they chemically displace it. They overwrite the predator signal with a pungent sulfur profile that fish do not associate with danger. Several compounds in garlic are structurally similar to the sulfur-containing amino acids found in decomposing organic matter. To a fish's chemosensory system, garlic does not smell like garlic. It smells like the chemical neighborhood of decaying prey. The fish does not approach because it likes the taste of Italian food. It approaches because the sulfur profile matches an environmental signature its brain has been wired to investigate for millions of years. That is the science. Two mechanisms: broad-spectrum chemosensory attraction through organosulfur dispersal, and active displacement of the L-serine predator signal from the lure surface. No $50 bottle of synthetic scent on the market does both, and the compound that does is sitting in your kitchen right now. Now I have to be straight with you about the regulations, because the story is more nuanced than a blanket ban, and you deserve the truth. There is no federal law and no state law in the United States that specifically bans garlic powder for fishing. None. Zero. You can carry garlic powder onto any body of water in America without violating a single statute. However, the way you use it matters. If you take a shaker of garlic powder and dump it into the water to create a scent cloud that attracts fish to your area, you are chumming. Chumming with any foreign substance is restricted or prohibited in 22 states, including Minnesota, Colorado, Idaho, Michigan, Kentucky, Oregon, and others. The regulations in these states do not mention garlic by name. They broadly prohibit depositing any substance into state waters for the purpose of attracting fish. That includes garlic, just like it includes corn, bread, blood meal, and every commercial chum product ever manufactured. But the legal distinction that protects you is the same one that applies to every scent product on the market. Applying garlic to your personal bait or lure is not chumming. It is scent enhancement of your individual fishing rig. That is legal in all 50 states. The only exceptions are waters designated as artificial only or fly fishing only, where any bait treated with any substance, including commercial scents, is prohibited. Those restrictions apply equally to your 50-cent garlic and their $50 Pro Cure. The law does not discriminate based on price. It discriminates based on method of delivery. Let me tell you exactly which species respond and which do not, because I refuse to tell you garlic catches everything. That would make me no different from the companies selling miracle scents. Catfish are the #1 target for garlic, and it is not close. Channel catfish, blue catfish, and flatheads all possess extraordinary chemosensory capabilities. A channel catfish has over 250,000 taste receptors distributed across its entire body. For context, a human has about 10,000, all located inside the mouth. When garlic dissolves near a catfish, it is detected across the entire surface of the animal simultaneously. The response is immediate and aggressive. Bass are the second strongest responders, but with an important caveat. Garlic works best on bass in cold water below 60 degrees, in stained or muddy water where visibility is under 2 feet, and during low light conditions at dawn and dusk. In these scenarios, bass shift from sight-based predation to chemosensory hunting, and garlic gives your lure a significant edge. In clear water on bright days, the effect is real but less dramatic. The L-serine displacement still helps, but the initial attraction is secondary to lure action and profile. Crappie respond well, particularly to garlic-scented jigs fished slowly around brush piles. Walleye show moderate interest. Trout are variable, with hatchery fish responding better than wild populations. Where garlic underperforms is the same place most scent attractants underperform. Purely visual predators in clear open water do most of their hunting with their eyes. Pike, muskie, and striped bass in gin, clear conditions, are hunting with their eyes, and a scent additive is not changing their calculus. There are 3 methods. All are legal in every state where scented bait is permitted. Method 1, the dry rub. This is the fastest and most versatile method. Carry a small travel shaker of garlic powder in your tackle bag. Before your first cast, shake a light coating directly onto your soft plastic bait and press it into the surface with your fingers. The powder adheres to the tacky surface of most soft plastics immediately. When the bait enters the water, the garlic rehydrates and begins releasing allicin and sulfur compounds within seconds. The coating lasts approximately 8 to 12 casts before you need to reapply. In still water, it lasts longer, and in current, it washes faster. Reapply every 10 casts as a rule of thumb. Total cost per trip is about 1 to 2 cents worth of garlic powder. Method 2, the overnight marinade. Take a quart Ziploc bag, place your soft plastics inside. Add 2 tablespoons of garlic powder and 1 tablespoon of water. Seal the bag and shake thoroughly until the powder forms a thin paste that coats every bait. Refrigerate overnight for a minimum of 8 hours. The moisture drives the allicin precursors into the porous surface of the soft plastic through diffusion. The next day, those baits will release a steady garlic scent trail for 60 to 90 minutes per bait, with no reapplication. This is the method tournament anglers use when they do not want to stop and reapply between casts. Method 3, the garlic oil soak. Buy a small bottle of garlic-infused olive oil from the grocery store. It costs about $3 and will last you an entire season. Place 3 to 4 drops on each soft plastic, before fishing. The oil base makes it hydrophobic, so it clings to the bait surface far longer than dry powder. It resists washing for 15 to 20 casts, even in moving water. The olive oil also adds its own lipid film that seals L-serine underneath. You get the garlic attraction, the human scent elimination, and extended lure coating time from a single application. This is the premium method, and it still costs under 1 penny per bait. Freshness matters. Garlic powder loses potency over time as the allicin precursors oxidize. If your shaker has been sitting in the back of your spice cabinet for 3 years, it has lost a significant portion of its bioactive compounds. Buy a fresh container. Check the expiration date. Store it sealed and away from heat and light. A fresh shaker of garlic powder from any grocery store will outperform a stale one by a wide margin. Also avoid garlic salt. Garlic salt is mostly sodium chloride with a small amount of garlic powder mixed in. The garlic concentration is too low to be effective, and the excess salt can leave a white residue on your lures that is visible to fish in clear water. Pure garlic powder. Fresh. That is all you need. We just covered how a 50-cent kitchen spice triggers a dual-channel biological response that no synthetic product on the market replicates. We exposed why the industry sells you color instead of chemistry, and why the cheapest compound in your kitchen outperforms the most expensive bottle on the tackle wall in cold water, stained water, and low-light conditions. I gave you 3 methods that cost less than a penny per bait. If this is the kind of science the rest of the fishing internet will not publish, you know what to do. Subscribe to Dollar Hook. Hit the bell. Send this to every angler you know who is still spending $50 a bottle on something sitting in their spice rack for 49 cents. And drop a comment. Tell me, have you ever used garlic on your lures? Did someone teach you the trick, or did you stumble into it by accident? I want to hear your story, because it might be the next investigation on this channel. Stay sharp. Stay legal. I will see you on the water.